Welcome to Easy Email Marketing. I'm your host, Yael Keown, mum, FIFO wife, MBA, coffee lover, survivor superfan, and creator of the email experience. In Easy Email Marketing, you'll benefit from my nearly 20 years experience, where I'll be teaching you all the tips, tricks, and insider info on how to create feel-good, non-spammy experiences for your subscribers. Let's get stuck in. Welcome back to Easy Email Marketing. I'm your host, Yael Keown, and today I am talking unsubscribes, why people do it, and if you should worry about it. Now, this does take a little bit of a mindset shift because I do not believe unsubscribes are a bad thing all of the time. It may sound a little bit counterintuitive, but if you don't want to be annoying or spammy or salesy, and if you are worried about appearing like that to your subscribers, then you want unsubscribes. Now, you might think that someone unsubscribing is because they feel like you are being annoying or one of those things, but that is just simply not the case. And we will go through some of those reasons in a moment. But big picture, we need to think about who your target audience is and what they want, who your ideal customer, your client, and that unique person that you are talking to. Remember, magnetic marketing attracts and repels. So if you have a magnet, you think about you've got the positive and negative charge joints. If it is angled the right way, magnets will pull together and, people will be attracted to you. But if it's the wrong way around, if it's a mismatch, if it's not quite a fit, you will repel those who are not interested. And it is exactly the same thing with your email marketing. You want an email list full of people who are your ideal customer or client. And you cannot try to please everybody. If you do that, you will please nobody and your conversions, etc., can plummet. And also perhaps the unsubscribes increase because you really are just being generic. So if you want to have great marketing and appealing marketing, a good sign of that is that people are unsubscribing because they are very clear that you aren't the right fit for them. And it doesn't have to be done with a feeling like you're being annoying or spammy. Just literally, okay, this isn't a right fit and this is not something I'm interested in. So that is all good. So that is the first mindset shift I want you to have around your unsubscribes. Now, of course, there are good and not so good reasons why people unsubscribe. And let's go through some of those so you can get a sense of where you are at. First, let's look at the positives. So what are some of the good reasons people unsubscribe? Well, the first one could be that they have solved their problem. Perhaps they signed up to your email list because they had a frustration or a challenge and they figured it out. They found someone to work with to help them solve that challenge. Maybe it was you, and now they've gone through that process and they have resolved everything. Or perhaps they were seeking a particular gift or a particular product and they've purchased it, maybe from you, maybe from someone else, and now they don't need to learn about it anymore. That's a legitimate reason why people unsubscribe, and that's nothing to do with you as a business. That is just a fact of life. The second thing is that they have had a change in circumstances. If you have a local service-based business and someone moves states, moves cities, then that's a change in circumstance. It means they no longer are your target market because they are just not living in that area. It could be that your services or your products appeal to babies or toddlers, or they're created for babies or toddlers and mums, or they appeal to mums of babies and toddlers, and then their kids have grown up. Again, that's a change in circumstance. So there's plenty of scenarios in which just what you offer is not necessary anymore. Or it could be as simple as their interests have changed. I know as an ADHDer, I can go on tangents and develop particular hobbies or interests, and I go deep and I could be signing up to things and being interested in a certain topic. And then after a while, it switches. And that's okay too. If someone's no longer interested in something, then that's fine as well. We don't need to try to force it down their throats. We don't want any of that desperate energy around these. These are just legitimate reasons why people unsubscribe, and that is good. And the final one is simply that they are reducing their overwhelm and they're just practicing good email inbox self-care. I know plenty of people who do just like every now and then just unsubscribe from absolutely everything or that they're subscribed to, so they get that clean inbox feeling. So yes, it would be nice to be among the select chosen few that get to remain, but if you're not, you're not. We need to respect people's interest in having that self-care of just removing that overwhelm in their lives. And typically if someone does this and you've done your job well in marketing and sending those good quality emails out, if their problems come up again or if they're interested in that thing again, they'll be back, and we just have to trust that that is the case. So there are plenty of reasons that I believe are good as to why people unsubscribe. Of course, there are some not so good reasons, and a few of these I would say you are definitely not guilty of. The first one is that they didn't sign up. So I am trusting that all of you listening to this are practicing great opt-in marketing. So anyone who signs up to your email list is someone who has said, yes, I want emails. So anyone you are emailing has put their hand up and said, yes, I want emails from you, whether it's from signing up for a lead magnet, etc., ticking a box at checkout, or they have booked a service and you are sending, those client-related emails. So a not so good reason, if someone didn't sign up and they left, that's not great. Another reason is if they are getting too many emails. Now, this is a little bit debatable. Because sometimes people might feel like it's too much for them, but other people in your list might be like, more. They want more. So this is a balance. But if they feel like they are getting too many emails, maybe that's just a sign that you need to introduce some preferences, or you need to send less emails to those people who aren't so engaged. And maybe for your big super fans, they're the ones who get the extra ones. We don't need to email everyone everything, remember. Another not so good reason is that the content doesn't match what they expected. So if someone signs up for a lead magnet about, how to, get their lawn all wonderful, and then you start sending them content about how to decorate the interior of your home, it doesn't quite match. So even though it's related to do with the home, it just doesn't match what they expected when they joined. So obviously we need to make sure that whatever they signed up for is within the realm of expectations. Now, that does not mean that you can't change direction or change your mind about what you offer. It just means that you need to communicate that to your audience, that if you're having a shift in perspective and then telling people, okay, if that no longer interests you, then you can feel free to go, or again, we manage it through preferences. And the final reason is for technical or design issues. So if someone can't read your emails because they can't access them, because screen readers don't use them, if they look at all their emails on mobile and they don't display, if they're too large. So there's lots of those reasons too, and they're definitely not great. So we definitely want to check out that and make sure that your email design is on point. So good reasons why people unsubscribe are that they solved their problem, or they've had a change in circumstance, their interests have changed, or they are reducing their overwhelm. Not so good reasons are that they didn't sign up, that they are getting too many emails, that the content doesn't match what they expected, or there's technical or design issues. So this brings it down to the question, should you worry about your unsubscribes? And I definitely see this a lot where people really look at their unsubscribe rates and take it personal. And they see one person unsubscribe and they're like, oh, why did this person unsubscribe? And I really do not believe in looking at that. I just look at the overall statistics and the overall trends. So should you worry about it? If you are getting spam complaints, yes. And more than just one. Again, sometimes you just get the random person who's just likes to put in spam complaints, and you just let it go. That's not going to one spam complaint isn't going to cause an issue. But if that number is getting significant, especially if anything above like 0.1%, I would be flagging, and 0.3% is the threshold for Google and Yahoo Mail. If you're starting to get to those levels, that would be a concern. So if you're getting spam complaints, yes, I would have a look at what's going on. If your unsubscribe rate is consistently over 0.8% across your campaigns, then yes. So that is the average unsubscribe rate for emails. So we want to be sitting below average. Of course, there are a couple of exceptions to this, like if you are doing like a re-engagement campaign, if you're literally saying in the email, hey, if you're no longer interested, click here to unsubscribe, obviously the rate's going to be higher. But if it's consistently over that level, then I would be having a look at your content and perhaps looking at doing a list clean. If they are unsubscribing after a lengthy period of time, no, I would not be concerned about them signing up. I wouldn't be worried because it's likely they've solved their problem. It's likely they've had a change in circumstances or one of those other good reasons. If they are unsubscribing mid-promotion, it's a maybe, whether you should worry or not. Because the sales promotions and launches, when you're sending a few extra emails than usual, they can be a great time just to get people who aren't interested, who are definitely not going to be your customers if they are unsubscribing, right? It is a great way to get those people to clean out and say self-exclude. But if it's, again, excessive, that might mean that you need to look at a couple of other strategies, like perhaps offering a way for them to opt out of just that campaign. So that could be a link at the top of your Black Friday promotion emails saying, do you want to, we're doing our Black Friday campaign right now. If you don't want to receive these emails, click this link and we'll remove you from these, but we'll be back in touch after. Or it could be if you're mid-launch, you say, yep, I'm sending more launch emails than usual, you can opt out. Another strategy you could use is obviously segmenting and only sending to people who would be likely interested in that offer, or only sending all the emails to your most engaged people, and then maybe it's just the first and the last email go to everyone. So there are a few options you can do that. So that is a consideration and just something to think about. And the final factor, and I've left this to last intentionally, is if you are still getting good opens, clicks and sales, no. As long as it's not major spam complaints or major unsubscribe rates, if you are getting good opens, getting clicks, and you are getting good sales, do not worry. Because remember, we're thinking about that magnetic marketing. We're thinking about attracting the right people. And sometimes there is this tendency to focus so much on the negative, focusing on those people who are unsubscribing and trying to appeal to them. But who you should be trying to appeal to are those who are buying. They are the people that you want. So if you start dulling yourself down, if you start sending less emails, if you start trying to make your messaging more generic to appeal to more people, it is highly likely that your sales and your clicks will drop. Yes, your unsubscribes might drop too, but at what cost? So monitor the positives as well. If they are still going well by percentage and overall conversions, they are the ones you should be focusing on. So hopefully that has helped you get a little bit of a better perspective about unsubscribes and if they are a bad thing or not. Of course, we want to be pragmatic here. We want to be making sure we're sending emails to the right people and to people who have opted in, but we need to allow space for unsubscribes and allow people to be themselves. One thing I like to do is just have a think about, okay, what are the reasons that I unsubscribe personally and how do I feel when I'm doing it? Now, there are definitely a couple of people that I've unsubscribed from and that I get really frustrated with, but as a whole, most of the time it's just like, oh, it's just not relevant anymore. And that's okay. I don't have any hard feelings or I'm not thinking that that person was annoying. I'm just like, yep, it's just not for me right now, and that is okay. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'd love to hear from you about what you've enjoyed from this episode, or what you want to know about on more future episodes. Please let me know over on Instagram. I'm at YaoKeone, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to Easy Email Marketing. It's an absolute honour that you chose to listen. If you love this episode, then it would mean the world to me if you could leave a review so that others can find this podcast and make their email marketing easy too. Finally, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss a thing. Until next time, have an awesome day and make sure to keep showing up and serving in those inboxes.